everyone and welcome to a video I was not planning on releasing today because we worked really hard on the video you were able to see yesterday. But because about a month ago a topic arrived, and that topic is really important to our channel because there is a lot of lore, we will talk about it today anyway. So, what happened? About a month ago, someone on Reddit posted the site of Leif Jeffers, who is an animator and a director. The interesting part comes when we have a look at his latest projects, because you can see Kung Fu Panda 3. Now, of course, we are here because of that massive Riot Games logo in the middle. So let's have a look at what Leif Jeffers, who is an animator, writer and a director, had to do with Riot Games. In the first line of the project that is related to Riot Games, we learned that it is a Shelved studio project that is animated. And he was the writer and the director. Now from this point on, there is not too much information on this project, but there is enough information so we know what Riot was planning. So, Riot got in touch with the studio that would animate them a movie. The interesting part is that it was aimed at adults, which means that the targeted audience was between 18 and 30 years old. And that is definitely not the normal audience of League of Legends, because the normal audience of League of Legends, like it or not, are kids. The thing is that kids are not really gonna spread the movie around, so it is better if they aim it at adults. On top of that, kids wouldn't really care about the lore of League of Legends. They are there for pretty pictures and maybe some pretty fights that don't really include any blood. So because Riot is now in a state where they want to push the story of League of Legends, they had to aim it at much older people. So finally, let's do a loop and let's talk about what this story specifically was about. The director says that it's a story of two sworn enemies who discovered a newfound respect for each other. Of course, we know about two characters that met each other in the past, but there is no mention of them now. And those two would be Katarina and Garen. So as I said, from this point on, we don't have any context for any of the story. But we do have storyboards and we have 4 minutes long video that was supposed to be a reel for the producers. So they would kinda get attached to the movie and maybe they would greenlight it. But because it's shelved, it probably didn't happen. But anyway, let's have a look at what the story is. So going through the pictures, you can see that this is a really strange place. I wouldn't say this is Shadow Isles because while there is some blue-ish hue on this picture, Shadow Isles have a lot of green and blue colors and it really glows with that undead presence. As you'll see from the rest of the storyboard, there is nothing like that in here. So I don't think this is gonna be in the Shadow Isles. Also, you have these knights on horses, which is not really typical for Shadow Isles as well. So I think that this story was supposed to be somewhere between Noxus and Demacia. Somewhere where, in the middle, during the Rune Wars, there are nations that got destroyed during the wars. That's why you'll see that most of this movie was probably supposed to be in ruins. But, as we go forward, you can see that, assuming this is Garen, I'm gonna assume that this is Garen, we don't actually know. He looks kinda like Garen, but then again, I don't know anyone else who would be this person. Unless this is a brand new person who we don't know, but this is Katarina we're talking about. And Riot would really mess up if they connected Katarina to another person who's not Garen. So, you can see Katarina and who we assume is Garen. I'm gonna just make up the story. They argue probably about their past, but Katarina will try to make an escape. You can see that she cuts off the bridge falls, and together with her falls down Garen. However, Garen, as they fall down and somehow survive, Garen is able to chain Katarina because she is still his prisoner. And now, from this point, the story evolves into a simple story where you have two characters who hated each other, but they are chained together because Garen literally snapped the chain. You can see that they basically get chained to each other, so they can't separate. And now they have to survive, together without their soldiers. On top of that, they are in the middle of ruins and there is a new beast. Now we will talk about that beast in a bit. I have no idea what this beast could be, and as you'll see, it's a really strange concept. But here you can see that they are chained together. I am gonna assume that the movie was about Katarina and Garen trying to survive as this beast hunts them. And I can understand why this movie was shelved, because there isn't much plot that you can shove into this very simple story. You have two characters who are running away, trying to survive in ruins, and there is one massive beast hunting them. I don't know how you would be able to make this into a full movie. Or, we assume it would be a full movie, One awesome thing is that if we have a look at the story panel with the 4-minute story, you can see that at the bottom there is a time mark and it shows 1 hour and 30 seconds. This to me shows that it was maybe supposed to be an hour-long movie, which would be awesome, but I don't think you can shove that much story into this. But as we said, this story was aimed at adults, and therefore there will be a lot of blood. You can see that Katarina is bleeding out, and they actually find some safe place in a church, in the ruins. Somehow the church is, intact. The beast gets in through the window, as you can see. The beast, I assume, gets buried under rubble. As any movie goes, that's not gonna stop the monster. The monster is gonna, continue hunting them. They try to run away. Pretty much a simple story, as far as I can tell. But here is the important thing. At some point in the movie, Katarina and Garen got stuck on a branch. They were about to fall. However, the chain was snapping, and in the end, Garen fell. I don't know why Katarina is falling as well, because in reality, Katarina was supposed to survive. Okay, so let's just ignore what happened there. But Garen fell down to the monster, but Katarina escaped. You can see that there was supposed to be some kind of reflection, because in the past, if we go back really quickly to the church, this is a scene where they were supposed to just talk about their lives and their past, and this is a scene where they were supposed to bond together. Now if we go back, so this scene later on was supposed to be a reflection of them talking in the church, and you can see that Katarina doesn't really want to sacrifice Garen to escape, but she ends up doing that anyway. She climbs away, and you can see that Garen is stuck there with the monster, but long and behold, she looks at the wound that was treated by Garen earlier, and as Garen is in the final duel with the beast, Katarina jumps in. She kills the beast with blades that she got somewhere, and Garen has a sword now as well. I don't know how, but together they slay the beast, and the movie would end, if it was real, by Katarina pinning Garen to the tree as Katarina escapes with a smile on her face. That is what the movie was supposed to be about. Again, I understand why it was shelved, because it would be really hard to make a full movie out of this. This would be a really cool short cinematic though. I'm not gonna lie, this would be a really cool short cinematic. Now, before we jump onto this, and I don't even know if I want to show you this, because I just don't want to steal the content from the site. So there will be definitely a link everywhere, so you can go and watch this thing. I will have just a short clip at the end, so you can see like what I'm talking about here. But if we go down here is basically the design exploration, and here we have a lot more interesting information. We saw these two pictures from the storyboard, but what is interesting, and as you can see here, is that it was supposed to be a 3D model animation. It was not supposed to be 2D. It was supposed to be Pixar style 3D animations. So here you can see the model of Katarina. I don't know what to say about that. But more importantly, we have the environment. And all of these are just ruins. Those are ruins upon ruins upon ruins. And I have no idea where this could be, because this is definitely not Shadow Isles, as I said, definitely, because of two reasons. Number one, Shadow Isles is really far away for Noxus, and it's even further away for Demacia, so I have no idea how Garen and Katarina would even get there, let alone the fact that, as you can see, well actually you can't see here because it's black and white, the environment has no blue and green hues, which are iconic for the Shadow Isles. So if Riot wanted to make a movie from the Shadow Isles, they would definitely emphasize on the fact that it is Shadow Isles. But you can see that there are some statues of soldiers that look a little bit Rekoran, little bit Targonian, and there were also horses, but horses aren't really Targonian. So, and as you can see here, no blue colors, no green, these are just ruins, but these are ruins frozen in time, and we have no idea what this is. This has to be somewhere between Demacia and Noxus. And this is loop, now we're at the beginning again. So, one thing I want to mention is that also here you can see definitely that soldier number 2 there is definitely Rakoran, or it looks like that. It has the helm like Pantheon, and you can see that everything's kind of like frozen in time. But if you have a look at the beast is not undead. What the heck is that? I don't know as well. Like, I have no... This is something brand new, and this is something that Riot probably wanted to explore. Now, to finish this video off, I wanna mention one thing. I think that the writers were definitely planning with this movie getting released in some shape or form. Because if you have a look at the past stories of Katarina and Garen, they were always somehow bound together. But in the new universe and in the new story, there was never a single mention of them ever meeting each other. Canonically, right now in the story, Garen and Katarina never met each other. So I think that the writers specifically avoided binding these two characters together because they knew there was a movie in production that would bind the two characters together. So I think that Riot will make this story canon in the future, but through some other means. Maybe in the comic, maybe there would be a short story, but I think that Riot specifically avoided talking about Garen and Katarina together because this was in production and they were planning on releasing this. So while this is not canon because this movie was shelved, this is a really cool reference for future stories that may get released. But again, remember, none of this is canon, none of this went through, so don't come back to me saying that, oh, what the hell is that beast? That's nothing. They never finished the movie, therefore it is not real. But that is gonna be it for this video. I hate making long videos, so I will try to cut this down to a reasonable length. I will finish this video with a short clip from this 4-minute video, which was, you know, the idea reel that they were, you know, giving their producers so they would get greenlit. So, with that, thank you guys so much for watching this. This was a quick video that I was not planning on releasing, but I had some free time on my hands, and these videos are really quick to edit because I don't have to write the script. Riot released a lot of new lore on the universe, so we will have a look at that next. So again, thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you next time.
Over there! Quick, help me with this. We should be safe in here. You're bleeding.
And you're an asshole. Everybody's got problems.
Hey, did you know that we have social media and Twitch where we talk about other League facts and stories? And did you know that we have neat mugs and shirts too? The links to all of that will be below. And as always, thank you, come again.